Hi friends, in this video I'm going to talk about what is a user persona and how do you create a user persona and what are the important elements or attributes that one should include while defining a user persona. So let's get started. User personas are fictitious characters that are defined by product team, design and marketing team together to represent the type of people that would become your potential users, right? Now, to understand user personas in detail, I've taken an example of Urchalo. Urchalo is an online travel application uh, dedicatedly built for Indian Armed Forces. So if any Indian defense personnel wants to book a flight tickets through Urchalo application, they will be eligible for getting a special defense fare. So the flight tickets cost would be less as compared to a civilian, right? And that is what the problem uh, Urchalo is trying to solve, right? So let us understand what user persona should Urchalo create, right? But before creating a user persona, it is important to understand why should product manager be interested in defining a user persona, right? See, the job of a product manager is to take multiple decisions when the software is being built. And you might come across situations where you have to take decisions which impact your users, which impact your customers. Hence, it is very important to understand the different profiles of the users for which you are building the software product. And in this case, since the product is being built for a 4G persona, let us understand some scenarios. So the scenario number one is, as soon as the opportunity is there, let's go and start building an online travel application for an Indian Armed Forces. The first question that comes to the mind is, should you build an application on Android or should you build an application on iOS? So at that point of time, you segment your targeted customers in two categories and you come to a conclusion that more than 95% of the users in the Indian Armed Forces are on Android phones and only 5% of the users are on iOS phones. And this gives you a clear cut prioritization decision, which platform should you build your application first, right? Moving forward, the second use case is there internet available in the workplace of a 4G persona? So sometimes they are in a place where internet availability is zero, and hence you should also think of creating a offline channel so that the 4G can book a flight ticket via an offline medium as well, right? Now, the third point is, are you looking to build a solution only for the male persona in the Indian Armed Forces, or is there a female persona as well in Indian Armed Forces? Yes, there is a female persona in Indian Armed Forces. So should you consider building a solution which solves their problems as well, right? So that is the third use case. Now the fourth use case is, are you building the solution only for the people who are serving in the Indian Army or also for their dependents? And yes, we are also targeting to build the solution for their dependents. So in that case, the kids of a 4G are millennials or they are from Gen Z generation, right? So in that case, the application design, the usability, the look and feel of the application should be catering to the needs of this persona as well, right? So we have talked about couple of use cases that a product manager takes while making a solution, and also looked at some personas that should be catered to while defining the user personas, right? So the next question is, how many user personas should one create, right? Is it 2 or 4, 6 or 8, right? So let's classify them in a couple of categories. So you see 4G on the border, non-commissioned officers and commissioned officers, then there is a woman in the Indian Army, and then there are retired personnel, and there are family members of the retired personnel, right? So there are 6 personas. However, the recommendation is to create only 4 personas. So you club a couple of personas in a single category, and that way the ideal number of personas that should be created is 4, right? Now I've created one persona here as an example so that it gives you a clear-cut understanding of how to build a persona and what are the different elements that should be included while defining a persona. So the first is the name and the designation of the persona, that is Vijinder Singh, and he is serving as a captain in Indian Army. This is a picture of the persona in the uniform and with the weapon that he is carrying. And then there is a quotation in which Fauji believes in karma hi dharma hai, right? And then there is a detail about the demographic information about the persona, about the age, work, the family information, the location, right? And the personality type. Discipline is the most important trait of Indian Army. Then there is a psychographic information. These are the personality traits, and these are important to capture as it will help you in defining the product design, considering that these are the personality traits of your user persona. And then a short bio information about your user persona. Then what are the goals and problems that the user persona faces, for which you will be building a solution for. What are the problems that user persona faces considering the travel, right? And that you will be solving in your software, right? And these are some of the traits that you need to capture. You also would like to capture the motivations behind using your software, the convenience, comfort, and the speed of booking that you would want to offer as benefit to the user persona, right? And then the preferred mode of channels through which your user personas could be reached, right? And the brands or the products that this user persona is using, right? So in case of a Fauji persona, these are the 2 brands that every Fauji carries with them, right? So this is how you define the user persona using one of the templates, right? Now I've included following attributes in defining the persona. I have captured the basic demographics data, and I have captured the picture, and especially in the uniform. If it was a different persona like a C-level executive, then it should be in suit and a tie, right? And it talks a lot about your user persona, what they value, what are their personality types, right? Then you also would like to capture the psychographic information, that is personality traits, right? Whether their users are extrovert or introverts, how much of thinking versus feeling, right? What are the other traits like loyalty, patriotism, trustworthy, integrity, discipline, right? What are their goals and motivations, and what are their problems that you would want to solve in the software that you're trying to build. You would also like to capture the additional elements like what are the preferred channels, and one-line quotations about the persona, what they believe in, what are their favorite brands and products that they would like to use, right? Now moving forward, the idea here is to capture the 360-degree customer profiling, right? So you look at the demographic data, and then you capture the psychographic information, the behavioral data, geographic data. So you capture these 4 elements, and then you also look at the external factors that impact the business, and out of all of these understanding of the consumer behavior and the customer persona, you define the customer needs and the problems that you want to solve in your product. So that's a brief about how you will build the customer persona from a 360-degree customer profiling perspective, right? I've give you one more example of a female persona, how to create a persona. I've captured the following attributes. These are the demographics data, and then I've also captured some of the psychographic personality traits information of this persona here, right? So that is how you define the user persona. Let me also give you a checklist of making the user persona. So these are some of the elements that you should include while you are defining the user personas. Give a name and a photograph and a short bio about your persona, the motivations and the goals, the personal motto, right, and the demographics, personality traits, what are their preferred brands and influences, right? So to summarize the learnings here, what we have captured is a basic definition of what is a user persona, and uh, how to create a user persona, and what are the four core elements to be captured when you define the user personas, right from demographics data, psychographics, behavioral information, and the geographical data about your user personas. Thank you so much for listening to this video about the user personas. Uh, I'll meet you again soon with another session and a lot more content from here onwards. Thanks a lot. See you. Bye bye.